What's up, y'all? Today I'm here with my part two of Are You Ready for Kids? And for my part one, I talked about three things I believe that people really do need to provide for a child. And my first one was to have a job. My second one was to have your own crib. And my third one was to have a car, your own whip. Now I'm gonna elaborate a little bit on those, and then I'm gonna move on to today's topic. Now I said all of those things. Yes, I did. But I know it's not easy to get all three of those things, like getting a job. If you're not filling out job applications, you of course you're not gonna get a job at all. You know what I mean? And if you are and you're still not getting no job, just keep trying because I've been in that situation. I'm still is in that situation. You know, I've been filling out job applications and going on job interviews and still haven't got no job. You know, but I keep trying until I do because God's gonna see that you are trying to better yourself for you and your child, and He's gonna help you along the way. He's always helping you, regardless if you know it or not. So yeah, I know getting a job is not easy, and then getting your own crib. A lot of people feel like when they move out of whoever house they used to stay in, grandparents, parents, cousin, friend, whoever they may stay with, they feel like they need to get a house. You don't need to get no house. A house is a lot to deal with, a lot to pay for. You have to have money to keep up with a house. So I feel like even if you got money to take care of a house and provide for gas and water, I believe you should still get an apartment. Because for an apartment, if you got bank, you know you could deck that motherfucker out with plasmas everywhere. You know, plush carpet, new furniture, refrigerator filled, and not just off link. You know what I mean? You can have all of that stuff and still have money in your pocket because you're just paying rent. You could provide for your child more things that they need, you know what I mean? And still have money in your pocket to get your hair done or get your nails done or buy the newest shoes or the new outfit. You know what I mean? So getting an apartment is what's up. 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom apartment, you know, look for something cheap if you want a low budget. You know what I mean? And then for getting a car, a lot of people believe that when they get a car, they need to get the newest car that's out. No, it don't roll like that, especially if you ain't got the money to provide for that new car. You know, you might have the money to buy it, but you can't provide for it. You know, like I mean, you can't keep up with the car. You know what I mean? Getting all the engine changed and all that other stuff. If you can't pay for that, then you don't need to buy the car. You can get a 1995 type car or a 2001 car, and it can ride the smoothest, look the cleanest, and be cheap. You don't need to buy the newest car because you can ride clean in the oldest shit. You know what I mean? So look more onto that stuff and make up your mind about that. Be wise about that, about picking out, you know, your crib and your car. You know what I mean? Now I'm going to move on from that and go into today's topic. Now today I will be talking about my first one is giving up your child or losing your child, and my second one is partying. Now I'm going to start with my first one, and my first one is giving up your child or losing your child, and what I mean about that is two things. The AA is abortion or adoption. Now I'm going to start with abortion. Me, I don't believe in abortions at all. 100%. I'm 100% against it. I don't like abortions. You know what I mean? And I've had a lot of people from younger than me to my age to older than me come up to me to ask my opinion if they should get an abortion or not. To tell me that they're going to get an abortion. You know? Or how do I feel about the situation? And I don't understand. It's not like I laid down and fucked them and got them pregnant. So I don't understand why they come to me about the stuff. But when they do ask my opinion, you know, I can't push my opinion on them and say, no, don't get that abortion. It's not right, because you never know what they're going through. You know, they could be poorer than poor and have no other choice but to get an abortion. So that's what they're going for. You know, but when they was in their mood and before they was even fucking and they knew that the nigga ain't had no rubber, they should have thought, damn, he ain't got no rubber and he trying to fuck and nut all up in me. Don't fuck me without no rubber. You should always think that. Like, we not fucking unless you got a rubber. You should think like that. And maybe you wouldn't be put in a position that you have to actually kill your child. I don't believe in that stuff. I don't think that's right. You know what I mean? And some people regret it. Afterwards, they regret that they have did that. Because now they be wanting their child. But that was what they wanted. You know, you got to think wise about that stuff. You really do. Because once you do it, you cannot take it back. You cannot. That's permanent. You just did that. I believe abortions, in a way, it messes up your body for having a chance of having another child. That's what I believe. You know what I mean? And I I'm not cool with it at all. You just won't see me doing it. If I was to fuck tomorrow and get pregnant all of a sudden, you wouldn't see me going to the clinic to try to get an abortion. Even if the nigga was like, go get that abortion, you wouldn't see me doing that. You would see me struggling as a single parent taking care of my child. There's a lot of single parents out there who taking care of their child. Big ups to them. You know what I mean? If you got to struggle and you're making it, go ahead, do you. You know what I mean? So, I know this lady personally. Her body looked like meatloaf, like sloppy. It looked nasty. And she told me that she got 6 abortions. 6 abortions. Like, are you serious? You fucked 6 times, got pregnant 6 times, and decided to go abort that baby? You was not thinking wisely. Because after the first abortion, you should have thought, I need to wrap it up or close my fucking legs. That's what you should have thought. But you kept getting pregnant, and you decided to keep getting abortions. Like, I don't see how you live with yourself. Like, I don't understand that. Some people are very cool with that. Come on now, I'm pregnant, go take me to the clinic. You know what I mean? And if you do, thinking about going to get an abortion, make sure you go somewhere professional. Don't go down to your cousin or to little Ronnie down the street and get that $20 abortion. Because it don't work like that. It fucks up your body. It does. Because, yeah, they might do it for that $20 for the low. They might do it for the low, but they're not going to give you the right medication that you need to take after getting an abortion. Probably right while you getting an abortion. You know, certain things. You know, I never been to an abortion clinic. I never, ask people how does it feel afterwards. Because I don't care about that stuff. I really don't. I don't need to know how it feels. I don't need to know what sounds you hear while you get the abortion. I don't need to know none of that stuff. I really don't. And, like, just make sure you go somewhere professionally. You know what I mean? And some niggas, they get their female pregnant on accident, and then they be pushing to tell their ass, I'm gonna pay for it. I'm gonna pay for that abortion. Bitch, you not having my baby. Some niggas don't be wanting bitches to have their babies, so they go pay for the abortion and damn stuff. You know, go ahead and do what you want to. I feel like if a nigga pressuring you to get rid of your child, you don't need to get rid of him. Don't get rid of your child. Please don't. Especially if you knew you didn't want to impregnate the bitch, don't fuck her raw. Do not fuck her raw. If you don't want to impregnate her, don't fuck her raw. Come on, think with your head now. If this the hoe of the town, and you know she get around, she a Tatiana, whatever you want to call it, and then you fucking her, use a rubber. Come on now, think twice, use a rubber. But yeah, that's for abortions. Now, on the other one, for the other A, is adoption. Now, I'm with that. If you don't want your child, give your child up. You know, to a family that does what your child wants to take care of your child. Adoption is a choice. Now, I've just recently started watching a show on Oxygen. It's called I'm Having Their Baby. And I'm in love with the show. I'm in love with the show because on the show, the females, they're pregnant. And for that 9 months that they're pregnant, they talk to a couple that wants to take care of their child. They get to know, what job they do, how much money they make, are they able to take care of a child, is they ready to have a child in their life. They get to know all of that stuff. And it's real good. It's like real good because you get a bonding with them before you give your child away. Some people, after they labor and they give away their child, they keep in connection with their child. They go to see them once a week or twice a week. They keep in touch. Some people give up their child and don't give two fucks. They just know they got a child out there in the world. Some people don't even think about that. They're just like, just get this child away from me. You know what I mean? And on the show, they get to sign a consent form before and after labor. Before labor, you sign a consent form. As soon as you have your child, you give your child up. That's their parents now. You're not the parent anymore. You know what I mean? And if you do it after labor, a lot of people, they have their child, and then they hold their child, and then they end up changing their mind. No, I'm not giving my child away. They get this bond with the child that, can't nobody take away, so they don't want to give up their child no more. So they don't sign the forms. And the other couple who do be wanting their kids be so sad. Like, now you gotta find somebody else who want to give up their child. But if you don't want your child, give up your child. Adoption. That's another choice. Some people go as far as they don't want their child, they had a child. They end up throwing them in the dumpster, throwing them in the garbage, putting them in baggies, putting them on the streets. Some people go as far as killing their kids. That's ridiculous. That's mind-blowing. Like, why would you even do that? If you don't want your child, give him up. It's a lot of ways you can go about that. You can go to the police station and turn in your child. The hospital. I've even heard the fire department. You can go all those places. If you don't want your child, tell them you don't want your child. You want to give him up to adoption. You know what I mean? And if you're looking for foster homes, Make sure you look for good foster homes, okay? Don't just put him anywhere, because there's a lot of foster homes out there. Their crew, the people who work there, treat them like shit. Treat them like pets. Don't even feed them sometimes. You know what I mean? So make sure you look into deep, research about where you taking your child. Adoption is a good choice. If you had a decision between abortion and adoption, I think adoption should be a choice to make. Okay? Now, I'm off of that. Now I'm on my second topic, and that's partying. Now, it's a lot of people out there who, before they got pregnant, all they used to do was party. Get fucked up, get drunk. They was a rock star. They was in it to win it, doing all of that shit. And they had their child. After they had their child, they was right back to doing it. They didn't give a fuck that they just had the child. They said, oh, I'm not pregnant no more. 9 months is over. I get to get fucked up some more. And that's very bad, because once you have your child, you're supposed to get into parenting mode. You're supposed to be on top of it. From womb until the point where they know that mommy got a life too, you need to be in it to win it. Because you need to be there to teach them stuff, be around for their first steps, their first, word, for all that little stuff. You need to be around for that stuff. Capture that moment. If you want to be a true parent, capture that moment. You know what I mean? Because if I had kids, I would be on it, not hovering all over them. But when they babies, you have to be like that, to hover all over them. Because they can get into a lot of shit. They really can. And a lot of people feel like they need to go out and partying because their kids drive them fucking insane. Kids will drain you out. From the moment they wake up to the moment they go to sleep. To the moment where you sleeping and they still awake and they crying, waiting for you to wake up. Like, they would drain you. Some people pull their hair out, they cry. Some people go as far as driving off the fucking cliff with them and their kids because they can't take the shit. That's off the partying topic, but that's how serious and critical it could be. If you go out and you having fun, you don't need to smoke and you don't need to drink just to have fun. That's one thing people need to understand. That smoking and drinking don't automatically make it seem like you having fun. You could be sober as hell and have fun. And your friends should understand that you got a child. You just had a child. So best thing for you to be is at home with your child. If they want, they can come over, spend time with you and your kid. You know what I mean? Go out on some little kid dates or some shit like that. If your friends got kids, go on kid dates. Include your child in you going out. That's what I believe people should do. And if you do go out, if you do drink, you could drink something little small like a margarita. Take one shot, even though that's not gonna do shit to you for some people. Take one shot for the hell of it. But don't get so drunk that you can't even drive home. Make sure you can drive home. Come home, tuck them in, cook them dinner. If you believe in reading them stories. A lot of people don't do that. I don't even see people read stories to their kids. Only thing I see that is on TV. Like, for real. Black people don't do that. I don't see no black people reading no stories to their kids. I'm just saying. But I believe in doing stuff like that. Like reading to your kids before bed. Telling them bedtime stories. You know what I mean? So, make sure you don't get too out of control while you out partying. And when some people go as far as coming in drunk, fucked up, that they abuse their kids. They take out any anger that they had before and they abuse their kids. Some things go as far as rape. So make sure you on it. Do not get too fucked up. Your friends shouldn't even let you get too fucked up because they know that you're a parent now. They know that you have a child at home that you have to go to, that you have to care for. You know what I mean? So make sure you calm down on partying. And I'm not saying that you should let yourself go. That's another thing. A lot of females feel like when they have kids, they have to let themselves go. They don't feel pretty anymore because maybe they got like baby weight on them. You know what I mean? It's still a little stomach, a little pregnant stomach. So they wear baggy clothes, their hair is a mess, and their eyes are like drooped down, like they feel like shit. Make sure, just because you're a mother don't mean you have to look like that. Still look the bomb. I ain't gonna lie, you're gonna have to give up some of your hair days, your nails days to get your nails done for your kid. You have to take all that money that you were spending on getting fucked up to give to your child, because your child becomes your number one priority. He becomes something that you have to take care of. He comes before you. You know what I mean? Your child comes before you. Make sure your child eat before you. You know what I mean? That money goes to them. So sometimes you may have to go without your hair being done, or for the niggas getting the newest shoes or the newest fit, the newest watch. You know what I mean? The newest, getting a haircut sometimes. You gotta walk around looking bogus because your child may need that money for some diapers or some formula or some clothes on their back. So remember that. This is my part 2. And I hope y'all enjoyed it. If you haven't looked at my part 1, go ahead check it out. But you can check me out on Facebook at Jessica Wilson, parentheses, fun size. And me on Twitter, freaksome_shawty. It will be at the bottom in the description. If you don't know, comment and say whatever you want, like it, if you enjoyed it. I wanted to elaborate a little bit more on my video because yes, I'm talking about this topic a lot, and for a good minute, like I don't know how long ago, it had to be recently, but I end up having BF. Now, I could say BF, it stands for baby fever. I actually had baby fever before. That's when you want a child, you want to have a child. And the only reason I believe I had baby fever was because I seen so many people around me get pregnant so quick. And sometimes they will be with their nigga, sometimes they don't. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to have a baby. I was like, if I had a baby, I would love my baby so much. But then I snapped out of that quick as hell. And lucky for me, I did, because having a child, you gotta make sure you do have all that shit. And I don't have all that shit right now. So I know I can't provide for that child. So I have to wake myself up. Because I know when I do start having kids and I do be on my shit, I'm having so many kids, it's going to be unbelievable. And I'm going to be able to have the kids because I can provide for them. Now, I want something like the Jackson 5. I want to have 4 kids. But, my mind might change when I have 1 kid. Because, labor affects people in different ways. It might hurt as hell to me. And I might not want no more kids. But I think I take pain easily. So, I just want a lot of kids. I know I'm going to love them. You know what I mean? I know I'm going to take care of them. I know I'm going to be there for them. A lot of people say I'm old-fashioned because I just want that togetherness, the mommy and the daddy. I don't look for, baby daddy and baby mama. That's not something I'm looking for. But, you can't control everything. You really can't. Some people are forced to be a baby mama or be a baby daddy. You know what I mean? Because sometimes it just don't work out. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's why I have to elaborate more on that, because when I do have my kids, I'm going to love them to death. You know what I mean? They're going to make sure that they know that I'm there for them,